Yeah. So that's like whenever we were kind of like texting and talking about like getting you like to come on, and we always throw it out to people, be like, what are you interested in? Like, what do you want to talk about most? And your response to me on Instagram, because we hadn't exchanged telephone numbers yet, but you said the topic that keeps coming up in is this idea of like life paths, which is also seen that we're all on different ones, and how we do not go through the same season at the same time, whether that's singleness, relationships mainly, but like also ministry, work, XYZ. And so like this is the thing that's popping up in your head of this idea of like processing and dealing with the fact that like acknowledging that we're all on different paths, we're all on different seasons. Like what experiences have you been going through? What have you been thinking about? What have you been seeing maybe in people in your circles that has made that thought, I guess, continue to pop up in your mind?
Well, so we kind of touched it a little bit before, but because I always stick out. So it started back, like, obviously when I was in high school, I was the only black kid, blah blah blah. But then I graduated. I got my master when I was 22. But when I was 22, all my friends were still in college when I started working, and so I was kind of in advance. And then the logical path after that, like what everyone was expecting me to do, people at church, my parents, whatever, everyone was expecting me to be married at 25. And what do I do at 24? I change country. Now I change country. I go to Spain, and now my friends are graduated. And then they are all in a relationship. And then they start getting married around 25, 26. And what do I do when everyone is getting married? I go to the US. And so my parents are
you running from something?
Are you running from someone?
Are you wanted in
like
Spain?
right?
Like, is there a warrant in Belgium? Who did you kill?
I'm just going further and further.
That's why she wants to go to Australia.
Right?
It's even further.
Next time, I'm on the moon.
Right.
And so...
Did you rob a bank? Like, what happened?
It's a secret.
Okay.
I'm not saying.
Clear.
Next chapter.
Got it.
You can tell us, just do it in a different language. We won't
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Nobody understands. And so then now when I coming back, like people are starting having kids and all the things, and I'm coming back and people are like, okay, so when are you getting married? I'm like, I don't know. And then it's funny because then I come here, and then most of the people I met here when I arrived were single or in a relationship, but nobody was, well, not nobody, but like most of the people I met here were not married at the time. But now almost all the people that I know here are also like married or like engaged or like, and so I am still sticking out now. And now I was in advance when I was 22, and now I'm kind of late at 32. And so it's just like funny how the path of my life has been so different and unpredictable. Like I couldn't even know. Like if you would ask me at 18 what I wanted, where I saw myself 10 years later, I was probably about to tell you, well, I will be married with maybe 3 kids. And we are like 11 years later, and I'm not even close. So
to that idea, what you thought it would be. Yeah,
exactly. And so when I see now people that are like younger and like struggling and saying, oh yeah, but I want to be in a relationship, or other people that are like, yeah, but I wish my career was like there, and I am seeing this person that is already graduated, or they already bought a house, or they are investing, and I'm like still like struggling to pay my bills. I'm like, yeah, but your path is completely different. Look at what you have done already. Like that is something that those other people were not doing when they were your age. So obviously they are there, but like in 10 years from here, you will be in a different situation,
Do you feel like you've like tried to force yourself out of your current situation at all? Like to the track of you seeing, like you just, because you brought up relationships a lot, like have you found yourself like trying to force that?
Or have you been no, because that's a whole different topic. But relationships it's a whole different like level of life. I feel like when you are by yourself, everything that you do only have consequences on yourself. So if I decide tomorrow that I go to Australia, my parents will be sad, yes. But that's about the only consequence that it will have. When you are in a relationship, every single decision that you make is based on how like it will impact the other person. And so I feel like before you are ready to make compromise for someone else, you have to be sure that you have made for yourself everything you wanted to do, so that then it doesn't have an impact on the other person after.
Interesting.
Hmm.
That's so interesting. No, it is. Because I'm thinking, so we have to understand that Brooke and I, my wife and I, started dating in high school.
Okay.
Okay? Before we were 18.
Wow.
And so my entire adult life, where I could actually make decisions, or I had any sort of finances to be able to do anything, or like anything that really mattered, right? I have been in a relationship.
So do you think that there are stuff that, not saying that you regret anything right now, but are there stuff that you wish you would have done before that you cannot do now?
No.
Okay, then.
There are things that I want to do, but I don't have any regrets, because here's the thing, is that anything that I want to do, I want to do it with Brooke.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that that's a key difference of knowing. I don't think all people, I would say too, it's about doing life with the right person.
Correct.
When you find
so
that
true.
person,
Correct.
changes. So that could happen at 21 or
Yes.
18. And then all of your value in life is about sharing these meaningful experiences together.
Yes.
That's good.
Absolutely.
And I think that if you try to force that onto somebody, where people
Yes.
get married young because they think that's the expectation. So you'll take the first person that shows interest in you and you're like,
Yeah,
this seems like you feel pressured into it. And then that's where I think people get really lost, because it's like, I don't know that I want to do all these experiences together, or maybe we're not even like compatible, that we have the same
Right.
interests. And so like you're torn, you feel like then you end up being 45 years old, which I think, obviously divorce is a huge thing. Over 50%, I think, rate of marriages
Yeah.
end divorce. And I think it's because they find people made these decisions to do life with somebody that they don't actually want
Right.
to do life with.
Right.
And so they feel like they're actually missing out. They've compromised themselves. So I think that until we could say God brings that person into your life.
Right.
Again, because you were married very young. I got married later in
Really
life.
old.
But I think it's, and sometimes I don't know, but I think that those other experiences I told Lisa on the drive up, is like, I do have parts of it's like, I'm really thankful that I had the experience of being 29, 30 when I got married. Because I knew the night that I met Abby, I was like, I'd never met anybody like her.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it was like, now this is the person I'm going to do my life with. So you can't force, if we try to, we talk about like this, are people inherently broken or not full or whole at their core? And it's like, you had said about, there is a part of us that like, we need to be good with ourselves, but like God is going to be the thing that makes us good. The divine is the thing that makes us good. If we try to fill that gap,